Hey, Bills Mafia. Today, we are diving deep into everything you need to know about the Buffalo Bills as they gear up for their preseason finale against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a crucial time of year, a moment when the coaching staff is juggling a mix of strategy, evaluation, and player development, and there is so much at stake even before the regular season officially begins. Let's start with the biggest headline. Josh Allen will not take the field for this final preseason game. This is a decision that has sparked plenty of conversation, but when you look at Allen's history, it's clear that skipping the preseason is a logical choice. Throughout his career, he has participated in every preseason in some form, yet those appearances have not consistently predicted strong or weak performances in Week 1. Some years, he came out firing and led the team to a solid start. Other years, the performance didn't match expectations. So, this move by Sean McDermott is less about withholding action and more about protecting the team's most valuable asset and ensuring that Allen is fully prepared for the regular season opener against Baltimore. At this stage of his career, entering his 8th season as the reigning NFL MVP, continuity is on his side. The offensive scheme, the key players around him, and the coaching staff have largely remained consistent. There have been some changes at the receiver position, with the addition of Josh Palmer and perhaps some other depth pieces, but the foundation remains solid. This decision also ensures that Allen will not be exposed to unnecessary injury risk on Saturday night, giving the coaching staff peace of mind and allowing him to enter the season in peak form. Now, moving on to another major storyline from this week. Cornerback Tre'Davious White has reportedly suffered an injury during practice, which immediately raises questions about the depth of the secondary and who will fill in across from Christian Benford for Week 1 against Baltimore. Early reports indicate that White left the field on one leg and was assisted by trainers before being transported in a cart, which understandably sparked concern among fans. Of course, injuries in the preseason are not always serious, and there are plenty of examples of players who went to the locker room via cart only to return to full participation without issue. Still, with Maxwell Hines already sidelined with an LCL sprain, the Bills are now evaluating the next options for this critical position. If White's injury proves to be significant, names like Dane Jackson, Jamarcus Ingram, and rookie Dorian Strong enter the conversation. Dane Jackson, a veteran since 2020, has started 28 games and contributed to numerous victories, making him a reliable fallback even if it's not the ideal scenario. Jamarcus Ingram has some experience from last season and could also be considered, while Dorian Strong, a 6th-round rookie, presents an intriguing but less likely possibility. The coaching staff must weigh game reps against potential risk, deciding whether to give these players exposure in the preseason or protect them while still assessing their readiness for the regular season. It's a delicate balancing act, but one that speaks to the depth of evaluation the Bills are undertaking this week. Turning attention to the defensive line, the preseason finale provides an essential window into the rotation at defensive end. Landon Jackson and Javon Solomon have both received significant reps on special teams so far, but the real question is who will earn meaningful defensive snaps once the regular season begins. Landon Jackson has shown impressive growth, balancing run defense with pass rushing abilities, while Solomon, with 1 year of experience, is a pass rush specialist who struggles more against the run. Observing how these two perform in the preseason finale will likely influence who is trusted to dress as the 4th defensive end for the opening weeks. Similarly, the defensive tackle rotation is another point of evaluation. Dwayne Carter, entering his 2nd season after being drafted in the 3rd round, is fighting for snaps behind Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, TJ Sanders, and Deion Walker. Carter's leash may be short, but a strong showing in this game could help secure a spot and show the coaching staff that he's ready to contribute meaningfully. Meanwhile, the nose tackle role presents another interesting dynamic, as Zion Log may offer more consistency in certain situations, highlighting the competitive nature of roster spots and the importance of performance in these final preseason games. Linebacker depth is another storyline worth following closely. The Bills are expected to carry 5 or 6 linebackers, with Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, Dorian Williams, and Joe Andre seemingly secure in their roles. Shaq Thompson brings leadership and versatility, even after missing some time with a hamstring issue, and could likely claim the 5th spot. The 6th role remains more fluid, with Jimmy Charlo, Kushan Jenkins, and Edwin Yulfoso in contention. Charlo has been making a strong case through special teams impact and flashes in defensive snaps, demonstrating that he could force his way onto the roster despite being the least experienced linebacker in camp. Meanwhile, players like Cole Bishop will continue to get game reps to assess consistency, play speed, and impact potential, even if they are likely to start the season in a defined role alongside Taylor Rapp. These positional battles show just how critical the final preseason evaluations are for setting depth charts and preparing for the regular season, especially with the pressure of Week 1 against Baltimore looming. Special teams play is another area of focus. The Bills released Caden Davis, clearing the way for Tyler Bass to resume kicking duties following his recovery from a pelvis injury. Bass is expected to handle field goals, extra points, and kickoffs, and this game will provide him an opportunity to regain rhythm and confidence before the season opener. Punt return duties also remain under evaluation. Brandon Codrington has handled returns previously, but competition may still exist from players like Kil Shakir, and the coaching staff will use these reps to finalize roles that can impact both field position and game momentum. On the offensive side, there are several storylines worth highlighting as the Bills approach the end of the preseason. Wide receiver rotations are becoming clearer, with Keon Coleman, Kil Shakir, and Josh Palmer likely claiming the top 3 spots. Beyond that, players like Curtis Samuel, Tyrell Shavers, Elijah Moore, and KJ Hamler are battling for roster spots, with each player offering a specific skill set that could contribute in situational roles. Samuel, in particular, has a unique skill set that makes him valuable in certain offensive packages, even if he isn't a primary target. The coaching staff must balance performance, chemistry, and readiness to determine the final configuration of the receiving core. Tylan Grail's availability also factors into these calculations, particularly if he is cleared from concussion protocol in time to see meaningful reps. The staff must weigh experience, readiness, and performance in a fluid way, ensuring that the offensive line is cohesive, versatile, and capable of sustaining the quarterback and the running game throughout the season. Tight ends also continue to be a critical part of the evaluation process. The top 3 players, Kincaid, Knox, and Ha, appear secure in their roles, but there remains competition for practice squad positions or situational contributions in offensive packages. Undrafted free agent KKI Lou has impressed in practice and preseason action, even seeing snaps ahead of Zach Davidson, highlighting the importance of blocking ability and special teams contributions in securing a spot. The coaching staff will need to balance athleticism, technique, and situational effectiveness as they finalize the roster. Every player at the tight end position is under scrutiny, and performance during this final game will likely influence which players are retained on the active roster, who moves to the practice squad, and how the team approaches matchups in the first few weeks of the season. Quarterback depth beyond Josh Allen is also an important narrative. With Allen sitting out, the team must carefully distribute reps among backups, such as Mitch Trubisky and others, balancing preparation for the opener against unnecessary exposure. Trubisky, in particular, is in a position where every rep could shape the coaching staff's confidence in him as the backup quarterback. The balance between developing the QB2, managing risk, and preparing for a challenging season opener against Baltimore requires careful thought and precise execution. The coaching staff must consider not only the performance in this game, but also the long-term readiness of each quarterback. Reps will be allocated with strategy in mind, ensuring that the backup is prepared while minimizing the risk of injury or misalignment with the team's overall plans. Turning back to the defense, the secondary remains an area of intense focus. Tre'Davious White's uncertain status creates questions about depth and matchups, and the coaching staff will be closely evaluating who steps into his role if he is not fully available. Dane Jackson, Jamarcus Ingram, and Dorian Strong are all options, each bringing different levels of experience and skill to the table. Jackson has been a steady presence in prior seasons, while Ingram's familiarity with the system provides reliability. Strong, as a rookie, has the potential to make an impact, but is less likely to start immediately. The coaching staff must weigh performance in practice and preseason action, considering factors such as communication, coverage ability, tackling reliability, and adaptability under pressure. Each player will be assessed, not just for their immediate contribution, but also for how they fit into the long-term defensive strategy and the team's ability to respond to in-game situations. Defensive end and tackle rotations are similarly under the microscope. Landon Jackson and Javon Solomon are competing for snaps at defensive end, with each offering complementary strengths. Jackson provides balance between run defense and pass rush, while Solomon's pass rushing ability makes him a situational threat. Evaluating how these players perform in the final preseason action is essential, particularly with Michael Hoy sidelined for the opening weeks. The coaching staff must determine which player will be reliable as the fourth defensive end and how rotations will function to maintain effectiveness while minimizing fatigue. On the interior line, the defensive tackle rotation will include Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, and potentially Dwayne Carter. Carter's position remains contingent on performance, particularly as he enters his second season. The staff will monitor how he handles his reps, his ability to contribute consistently, and whether he can earn trust as a rotation player. The nose tackle role may see competition as well, with Zion Log offering a potential alternative depending on performance and situational needs. Evaluations in these positions are critical as they directly affect pass rushing capacity, run-stopping ability, and overall defensive cohesion. Linebacker depth will also be a key storyline. Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano, Dorian Williams, and Joe Andre are expected to be secure in their roles, but Shaq Thompson's versatility and leadership could earn him the fifth spot. The sixth linebacker position is less certain, with Jimmy Sharlow, Kushawn Jenkins, and Edwin Yulfoso vying for the opportunity. Sharlow has made a strong impression through special teams contributions and flashes on defense, demonstrating potential to influence the roster despite limited experience. His performance in this game may solidify his role, potentially giving the Bills a well-rounded and adaptable linebacker core capable of responding to injuries or tactical adjustments. Special teams continues to play a decisive role in shaping roster decisions. Tyler Bass is expected to resume kicking duties, handling field goals, extra points, and kickoffs. This game provides an opportunity for him to regain consistency and confidence after recovering from his pelvis injury. Punt return responsibilities are also under evaluation, with Brandon Codrington and potentially Kil Shakir competing for opportunities. Special teams performance can be a differentiator for players on the fringe of the roster, making every rep meaningful and every execution significant in the context of final evaluations. As the game unfolds, the coaching staff will be observing nuances across the field, from alignment and execution to communication and decision-making. Young players, in particular, will have a chance to demonstrate their ability to perform under pressure, adapt to the speed of the game, and contribute effectively in both primary and situational roles. Every snap is an opportunity to impress, and the outcomes of these moments will shape the active roster, practice squad, and depth chart for the opening weeks of the season. The interplay between performance, potential, and readiness is particularly compelling in this game. Each player is being evaluated not just on raw talent, but on how well they fit into the overall system, respond to coaching, and execute under game conditions. Coaches will be watching closely, making decisions that balance immediate needs with long-term strategic planning. The final preseason game offers a glimpse into how the team may perform against a strong opponent, but its primary value lies in the information it provides about the roster, positional battles, and readiness for the regular season. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the. Whispers have been circling the league since the news broke that John Harbaugh, the long-standing architect of the Baltimore Ravens' defensive dominance, is reportedly on the verge of taking the reins at the Buffalo Bills, a move that could shake the foundations of the AFC. Sources suggest that the decision by the Ravens to part ways with Harbaugh, despite his years of consistent playoff appearances and his reputation as a defensive mastermind, may have been driven by internal disagreements over team strategy and long-term vision. The Bills, known for their explosive offense and perennial playoff contention, are rumored to be seeking a defensive overhaul that could finally complement their quarterback-centric approach. Industry insiders speculate that Harbaugh's track record of building disciplined, opportunistic defenses aligns perfectly with Buffalo's perceived need for a more aggressive and adaptable defensive front. Rumors from unnamed sources hint that discussions between Harbaugh and Bills management have been quietly ongoing for several weeks, with both parties eager to finalize terms before the upcoming season. Fans and analysts alike are buzzing with speculation about the potential transformation Harbaugh could bring to Buffalo's locker room culture, with many suggesting that his leadership style could instill a renewed sense of accountability and cohesion among the Bills' defensive core, elevating a team already brimming with talent to new heights. The timing of this move has fueled additional speculation, with some insiders arguing that the Ravens' decision to release Harbaugh may have been influenced by subtle tensions in their coaching staff and front office. Despite a history of success and consistent playoff appearances, reports suggest that disagreements over player utilization and defensive schematics reached a tipping point, leaving Harbaugh seeking fresh challenges elsewhere. In Buffalo, sources close to the team indicate that management has been quietly seeking a leader capable of melding an already explosive offense with a stifling defense capable of dominating the turnover battle. Rumors have emerged suggesting that Harbaugh's interest in joining the Bills stems not only from the chance to imprint his defensive philosophy, but also from the opportunity to work in a market hungry for a Super Bowl breakthrough. Fans across social media platforms are already buzzing about the potential defensive schemes Harbaugh could implement, speculating that the Bills' linebackers and secondary could evolve into one of the most feared units in the league. Analysts suggest that this strategic hire could redefine the balance of power in the AFC East, with Buffalo potentially emerging as the team to beat, while Baltimore may face a transitional period of uncertainty without the veteran guidance of their former defensive mastermind. Adding fuel to the rumor mill, insiders close to both organizations hint at a behind-the-scenes negotiation process that was far more intense than publicly reported, with Harbaugh reportedly having multiple suitors from across the league before choosing Buffalo. The narrative suggests that the Bills' front office leveraged their promise of autonomy over defensive planning and roster decisions to entice Harbaugh, positioning him as the central figure in what could become one of the most significant rebuilds of a defensive unit in recent NFL history. Sources suggest that Harbaugh's potential arrival has already sparked discussions among players, with some veterans expressing excitement over a leadership style known for discipline, preparation, and adaptability. The rumor mill continues to churn with speculation that Harbaugh may bring innovative defensive formations and unconventional blitz packages, fundamentally altering how opposing offenses approach the Bills. The prospect of combining Buffalo's high-powered offense with a newly invigorated defense under Harbaugh has sparked a frenzy among fans, who are already envisioning playoff matchups dominated by a team capable of stifling top-tier quarterbacks while sustaining relentless scoring pressure. League insiders predict that this hiring could trigger a domino effect, influencing other teams to reconsider their coaching hierarchies and defensive strategies in an effort to match Buffalo's potential newfound balance and intensity. Observers suggest that the ripple effects of Harbaugh's reported hiring extend beyond Buffalo and Baltimore, with potential implications for the wider NFL landscape as teams reassess their defensive priorities. Sources close to the league indicate that rival franchises are closely monitoring this development, with speculation that the Bills could quickly emerge as the standard-bearers for a new era of defensive aggression combined with offensive efficiency. Rumors circulating within coaching circles hint that Harbaugh's methods, long respected for their rigorous attention to detail, could revolutionize the Bills' preparation routines, instilling a level of discipline that impacts everything from practice intensity to in-game adjustments. Fans are theorizing that such an approach might also improve player longevity and cohesion, creating a unit that not only executes schemes effectively, but also thrives under pressure in high-stakes playoff environments. Analysts have speculated that if Harbaugh succeeds in Buffalo, other high-profile, defensive-minded coaches may become hot commodities, as franchises aim to emulate a model where defensive prowess complements offensive brilliance seamlessly. The narrative has created a media frenzy, with every report and unnamed source analyzed for subtle hints of strategy, personnel changes, and tactical philosophy, further feeding the notion that Buffalo's upcoming season could be defined as much by defensive dominance as offensive firepower, creating one of the most intriguing storylines in recent league history. Finally, the potential arrival of John Harbaugh at Buffalo has become the subject of intense speculation across social media, sports networks, and insider discussions, with whispers of dramatic defensive upgrades circulating widely. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.